This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast, episode number 80. We're rolling right along, and scary to think that very soon we'll hit 100 episodes. As always, we want to thank our sponsor for this evening, Mitch, with the barware and clothing line, Drink Your Face Off. He has been teasing some new stuff with the Masked Men of Teal, sent me some different colors and stuff, and that stuff looks really sharp. So I know that stuff is coming soon. If you're a fan of goalies, I am feeling much better after having the flu, and my God, I hope anybody who's got it or feels like they're getting it gets it a mild case, because that was some of the most painful and just god awful level of sickness I've had in a long time. So yes, I am back to my old fashioned, and with the Four Nations going on right now and Team USA playing right now, I did actually go Canadian whiskey though, the Chris Pronger's Journey. So if you have not tried it, I do recommend it. I know you can get it in places in Canada. You can also get it in a lot of parts of the U.S. I know, of course, St. Louis has it. I know it's on the East Coast in spots. So if you can find it, get it. It's under $30 a bottle. It is actually really good. So cheers to everybody there. The next part, I want to turn over to Wade. It's before you go in too much, Wade, just know that all of us will help you here and as collectors and friends. So
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Tough day for me. If most of you, if you follow me on social media, my dog Luna, who I've had for 10 years past today, I had to put her down. Cancer sucks, and it was a really hard day. And I wasn't going to do the show initially. I was like, just not really feeling it. And throughout the day, I've gotten so many messages of friendship and support from so many people. And as before we came on the show, I said I really decided to do it tonight because I just really was sitting here just feeling bad, and I wanted to be with my friends and do something I enjoy. So here I am, and going to tough through this one. But I really wanted to just throw out there, we talk about the relationships, the hobby, and friendships, and I've gotten so many texts and calls and messages and Facebook stuff today, and I just wanted to say how thankful I am for the hobby and for the friendships, because there's been so many people from all over the world and different places who have reached out today to give me some condolences and make me feel better. And that was a big reason I decided to come on the show tonight. Thank you guys for that. And, Luna was my best friend, and I'm going to miss her forever, but she's in a better place. And pardon my dirty mouth, but fuck cancer. And let's have a good show.
We'll take it. But, and again, folks, this is one of the reasons we do this show, and we connect with all the people between expos and all of those different things, is because it's more of just the fabric and talking about wear and things like that. It is those connections, and to have collectors that you may not talk to often or very little, or you've never made a deal with, reach out when something like this is, and to know, I mean, all of a sudden you think how big the world is, and then how small it feels all of a sudden when everybody all over is reaching out to you. So
help me get through a day. So thank you guys, and let's enjoy some Jersey talk now.
Definitely. Paul's got some of that because he just did an expo, and we have some expos coming up.
Yeah, we had the San Jose Expo back on February 1st, and that was, I finally recovered from it.
I was just about to ask, had you recovered yet?
It took a number of days. It was just exhausting. We started on Friday with the Barracuda game. We had a suite for that. So we had a friend bringing food for that, and just people started coming to town early, and it was just fun. It's hanging out in the suite, watching decent hockey. And then we started after the game, a little bit of setup going on over in Calder's. Now, one thing I did not know when we set up this expo, that weekend also happened to be the weekend of the state championships for hockey at Sharks Ice, where Calder's is located. Sharks Ice has 6 different rinks, and they were fully booked from like 7 a.m. till like 10:30 at night every day we were there.
Wow.
So
Wow.
they actually had set aside parking for the Barracuda crowd and for the Expo crowd in the back, because of the high demand for parking there for the tournament. I mean, the kids would be there early morning, all day, and the place was just packed. And it was great watching hockey on 6 different rinks during the day as our Expos going on the next day. So jumping ahead to that, we kept moving up the time for setup, and we started our initial setup on 6:30 a.m. on Saturday. I think Mitch might still be setting up with how much he brought. It's
Not surprising.
Yeah, because I was starting to worry a little bit. We had 20 tables of people, and we were overflowing. So we're into the hallway, which is between Calder's and Stanley's, the other bar there. And unfortunately, a few people couldn't make it at the last minute, so we were able to get most of the stuff, well, everything out of the hallway, and just put it into the bar. And the room looked incredible after it was all set up. You have glass on 2 sides of it, both overlooking rinks, and we had to keep some pathways and stuff in there, but it was jam packed. Lots of collectors. We had a few come up from LA, had a friend come out from Arizona for it, and most of the local collectors were able to make it. And it was just a really fun show. The Sharks Pro Shop showed up with, they did a private auction. So you had to be at the expo to bid in the auction, or someone at the expo had to share the details with you. And I don't think that happened much. So they had an Askarov goalie mask, which was actually Romanov's mask. And Askarov ended up wearing it for 90 seconds, 2 minutes, on an away game at Edmonton when his mask got damaged. Something with the strap or something. So they didn't give him time to fix it. So he swapped masks to this. So it says Romanov and stuff on it, and it's photo matched to a bunch of Romanov games, but it's also photo matched to an Askarov game for a couple of minutes there and well documented. Logan, who was on this show, ended up winning that at the auction, which is a great new ad for his collection. And they also had a Smith Set 1 home jersey that they auctioned off, which
Wow.
and a Celebrini gold puck. And I believe all 3 ended up in Logan's collection. So check out his website, Sinben Set Sweaters. I'm pretty sure he has them up there now.
What's a mask go for like that? I'm just curious.
I think that one, I'd have to double check. It was either 3,500 or 4,500.
Very awesome get.
Now,
Very
that
cool.
seems to be about the going rate for NHL masks in general.
Congrats, Logan.
Yeah. He will listen to this, and it is a great looking mask, and it's. I'm so happy he was able to get it. It was really nice of the Sharks Pro Shop to bring that, and then for Logan to be able to add, that great item, his collection. I did have a KHL mask from a friend in Germany, that sold at the expo. That was considerably cheaper. That went for under $1,000. But beautiful looking mask, and I'm drawing a blank on the player's name. It's still been a long time, still recovering.
But that's, I mean, and to go back 1 second on this, Paul, shows what, I guess, what connection or what quality the Sharks Pro Shop feels about you guys and what you're doing with the hobby in this show to bring that level of stuff and auction it just for you.
Oh yeah, that was really, really cool of them and greatly appreciated. When you're hosting one of these, Wade knows this, you're nervous throughout the whole thing. You're nervous,
Yes,
during
I've
setup. We had concerns because it's an open bar. Not in the sense that drinks are free, but it's open to the public.
Sure.
That would have been a problem if it was a real open bar. but people can pass through, and we had to keep the windows open over the ice because the kids were playing. So parents are in there. There's also seating inside the rinks, but a lot prefer sitting at the bar and being able to have a drink and watching their kids play. Lots of walk-through traffic from other collectors who knew about it, and then also from the parents of the kids playing, and a lot of the kids playing were checking things out. So that was, one of the aspects I was nervous about was, if anything walks off, it's just like it's not something you want to deal with at an expo, and nothing, walked off with anything. Some people were concerned about that. We put them in a safer spot where it was easier to monitor their table. The other thing, which was probably foolish to worry about, is we want to be able to do this again. So I wanted it to be a big success, not just from our standpoint, but from the standpoint of Calder's and Sharks Ice. So talking to the bartender who worked there, he had his best day ever in terms of tips and that.
Wow.
And talking to the staff who run Stanley's and stuff, they say it was just incredible how much beer and food they were selling. They started serving food to us, I think, at 8 a.m. or something. And
What time did Mitch start drinking beer?
probably the
8
night
a.m.
before.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, in all fairness, he did not drink too much at the expo. It
I was
wasn't.
just having fun. Yeah.
I could be wrong, and Mitch will correct me if I am wrong. He always does.
Oh.
But he didn't start really drinking till after the expo. We got things packed up, taken away to his hotel, and then he came back, and then the Coors Light started flowing for him.
Of course it did.
Yes,
because it flows like water.
Exactly. It's we need them as a sponsor too.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. So the expo went off great. It's a number of sales here and there. Not as many trades as I didn't have any trades actually. I had a number of sales, but no trades, which was very unusual for a show like this. We had a breakdown starting at I think 3:00 it was, because the CUDA game started at 6, the Pink in the Rink game, and so they had to have the place mostly ready by 4, so that they could have the bar set up for the game crowd, which comes in there. And it took a while to break down. I ran home and then ran back, dropped off a bunch of stuff. We moved to 3 suites for the Barracuda Pink in the Rink game, and we were pretty full in there. We had a lot of people in there, and it was very nice. Frenzy came to visit us again with a CUDA mascot, and it was fun. It's what these things are supposed to be. And I finally felt relaxed probably about the 3rd period of the Pink in the Rink game. So just running around like all these little things I saw to take care of and talk to people from the CUDA, and the response from the CUDA has been great. We're invited back for next year, so
Awesome.
we'll work. I think. I'm sorry.
Real quick, with the public coming through there and stuff, did you talk to a lot of hockey parents or things like that were surprised, one, to see an expo or a show like this, and to know that these kind of stuff are available?
Yeah, a lot of the parents were thrilled to see the stuff. I had a handful of USA jerseys there, and since a lot of the U17 teams do a lot of traveling, they knew a lot. Personally, some of the USA players from the recent years, from the U17, U18 teams, and they were trying to get specific players' jerseys. No luck yet on those, but we're gonna try. And then other parents just thought it was really cool to see all this stuff. Got a little bit freaked out when they found out how much some of the game worn jerseys go for, but it's
and that's when you're not in the hobby, or you just don't have an idea, and then you hear those. It's funny how many people I talk to that we get into discussion. Oh yeah, what kind of hobbies do you have? You start telling them, and then start talking about prices, and they almost can't understand for a piece of fabric.
Yeah. Some got it, others just thought it was really cool, but thankful they didn't collect, or their kids didn't collect.
Yeah, hopefully their kids aren't. But you know what? Maybe doing this sparked interest in somebody, and here soon there'll be new hobbyists coming in.
Yeah, that's that's the hope. And at least even if, well, I'm sure there will be some hobbyists who came in, because some people are asking, how do you get this stuff? How do you get these jerseys? A lot of them didn't even know the Sharks Pro Shop or
Yeah.
the annual Shark sale. Now, in all fairness, these were kids from all over the state and parents, so that, they might have been LA, families, or, much more Northern California families who had no reason to know about the Sharks equipment sale. But I mean, they were asking those type of questions. How do you get this stuff? How do you buy from teams? And I did drive some of the Oprah website where we maintain the game worn sources on, where I keep a list of how every team sells their jerseys.
Yeah.
It's not totally up to date, but it's a good starting point.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
I think we might have created a few monsters that day.
Well,
That's not a bad thing at all.
No, not at all. Now, it's one thing I got to get feedback from others. Would they prefer a day where Sharks Ice isn't totally packed with, hockey, a massive tournament like that? Would they prefer a day where we can go later? We don't have a 6 p.m. game. And all these things are stuff we can address for next year as we set it up. We were lucky to get this date. Well, we're lucky to get any date there. And it's with the Poorhouse losing their concert facility, where we've done the past few expos, it's great to have a new location that will work with us and are excited to have us. So, and they did a lot of advertising for us. We're even on the Stanley's February schedule of events
Nice.
that went out all over their social media. And yet we still had people who never heard about it, who were collectors, who showed up that day. So,
But like you said, as the bartender said, best day ever, all those things, and that's all helps to get the groups fired up to have you back.
oh yes, yeah, no, that definitely helped, and no conflicts or anything that I had to worry about. It's all my worrying was not needed. So it was a great show. Thank you everyone who attended, everyone who showed up, set up a table, attended. Thank you, and we're looking
Great
forward to
pictures
next year.
online. I saw a bunch of the ones posted and looked like a great setup, and yeah, a lot of the people commenting on stuff really seemed like they had fun. I'm glad they did.
Yeah, no, it was a great day, and thankful for it. So I'd like to also turn to upcoming expos. I didn't realize March is so busy. March 1st, we have the Southern Cal Expo that Michael Rulehand's putting on, and I think he has 30 something tables there. It's all sold out. It's going to be a nice big crowd there. That's in Valencia, California. Then we don't have Justin tonight, but March 8th is the Pegspo show up in Winnipeg. March 22nd then is Nova, Francis's show, which is always one of the best ones around.
Seems like the last one just ended.
Yeah, it's things
fast.
go by fast. And then the final one I want to mention is the one we're doing for the Frozen Four, April 12th in Collinsville. And we'll get more information out on that. And I can start pushing it more now and get more people signed up for tables now that the San Jose show's over. And I know Monica and I will be out there. Hopefully Mitch can make it, and a few others, but looking forward to it.
And I
we're
think
looking
that's
forward to
gonna be
hosting you.
oh yeah, be a fun one too. And Wade, I think it could be very similar to with Paul doing the one in the bar setup there.
Yeah, we're looking at much more casual event, which is going to be a little fun. And a lot of people have been asking me. I've gotten some definite interest in some tables, and I think it's going to be a fun little meet and greet. I'm still kind of working on seeing if I can get somebody to come sign some autographs. But regardless, I think it's going to be great. I can tell you, I'm really getting excited for the hockey aspect of it. Just going to the Frozen Four is going to be really neat.
Yeah, that's why we're getting there Wednesday night for the Thursday semifinal games.
I've got to do a lot of extra nice things in that having to do with this weekend, because that weekend is also my 10th wedding anniversary. So my wife will be coming down to join us. Both you and Monica, and of course Wade. You guys have all met her. So
yes,
but I have to. Yes,
a wonderful lady.
But I'll have to make sure she gets some extra special stuff since it is the weekend of our 10th wedding anniversary.
Yeah, get her a jersey.
Congratulations.
But it'll be a great time, and yeah, I'll definitely make sure once because are the tickets already on sale for the games, or is it once the teams are set?
I think they're still. I think some of them are on sale now. Correct, Paul?
All the games are all on sale. It looks like they're mostly sold out, but don't worry about that. Um, there will be a ticket allotment for each of the four schools, which will be released, 2 weeks before the game, because there's a 2 week gap between the first two rounds and the Frozen Four. For Chicago, we were able to get scalp tickets real easily. We got great seats in the club level for the Thursday games, really reasonable, below face value. And then for the finals, we ended up getting scalp tickets the day of the game. I think about $100 each, which is below face value. And we were in the Harvard section because Harvard had lost in the semifinals. So we were, like 10 rows off the ice in the corner, and it was so much fun. So I'm not worried about, getting tickets. With any luck, we'll get them through the Michigan Athletic Department. But
There we go.
we shall
Yeah.
see. And if not, we'll get scalp tickets. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Right now, if you look at the resale market, it's foolishly high, and it's just a better way to. There are still some tickets available direct from the venue, but they're up high, and I'd rather get better seats and hopefully pay less, or at least get better seats.
If Minnesota makes it to the final game, you'll see tickets get a little bit harder then, especially with Jimmy Stugarud playing for Minnesota. Beyond that, I don't think it'll be insane. But if Minnesota makes the final game, that's where things will go a little nuts. But even still, will that one player really fill the place up? We'll have to see to that.
But
but that's
you
going to be
will
a
have a lot
fun
of fans
show.
coming down from Minnesota for the game. If they're in it, it's. Well, you guys in St. Louis for your regional last year was insane.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because that was
especially at
Michigan,
that
Michigan
17.
State. Yeah, Michigan State, North Dakota, and I'm forgetting who the other one was, but sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, it might have been Minnesota Duluth or someone, Minnesota State. Yeah. But I mean, having North Dakota there, those fans travel so well. And Michigan and Michigan State fans travel well too. And it was a small rink last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is at your Enterprise Center, I think
Yeah,
it is.
where the Blues play. It's a very nice setup. It's easy to get to. Just all around good setup there. Let's touch on a bunch of auctions. Classic auctions still ongoing. They close February the 18th, so just 5 days to go on that from the time of this recording. Still, I think some decent deals in there. Some prices way up there. Migray has a few different auctions going on. Some that we've talked about already. They have the Jacques Lemaire Ring of Honor, New Jersey Devils ones, the 2025 Warrior East Coast Hockey League Heritage Game jerseys with the K-Wings, their puck auctions. They do have a Four Nations Team Canada and Team Finland auction. That closes February 27th. What that is equipment, jerseys, things like that from guys that are on those teams. So it's a little mix of everything. They do also have a Team USA, a Team Sweden auction. That one ends March the 4th. So if you're looking for not actual Four Nations team gear, this is just stuff that they have of players playing in that. Like I said, helmets, gloves, skates, jerseys, mix, and it's different years. So feel free to go check that out. Out on NHL auctions, they have the Edmonton Oilers Battle of Alberta game-worn jerseys. They were worn on November the 3rd, 2024. Those just opened today, February 13th. They closed February the 25th. Since they just opened, a lot of them don't have bids yet. They are very sharp-looking jerseys. I was seeing what Any crazy prices, Joe? Let's see. Nobody's too crazy, of course, so far, other than we know who will be crazy stupid. And it's actually only one bid at $1,000 right now for Connor McDavid. However, he did not play in that game. It is actually an issued jersey. So $1,000 for a Connor McDavid issued. We'll see. I'll be curious where that finishes. Because those still are hard to come by. They do have NHL auctions does also have the Four Nations face-off game pucks out here for auction. They have the Team Sweden, Team Canada ones from last night. Tell you which period they are. These are there are goal pucks and there are just game pucks mixed in here. The McKinnon, which closes February the 20th, is currently at $255. The Brad Marchand's over 300. It's interesting. The Team Sweden one's only $55. So maybe he's not as popular, or they're not as popular, but I think those, and we'll get to the pricing of all the Four Nations jerseys here in a few minutes, but I could see those pucks going up pretty good as well if you're a puck collector. While this is not an auction, there is a bunch of stuff posted out at vegasteamstore.com. If you're looking for Vegas related things, cheap, or if you just need some blank Adidas jerseys, if you play hockey and want those kind of jerseys, whatever, they have blank ones that do not have the Vegas logo on front. They are the Adidas Prime Green in all kinds of sizes for $50 a piece, but they have no front logo if you want to have something made up or whatever. It's a good price for those in general. They do have actual logoed practice jerseys for $75. Yellow, red, white, black, or gray and black. And then getting into some of the worn stuff. They have game issued and some preseason ones starting at $200. So if you want, and again, Vegas jerseys are just sharp looking. Even if you don't really care who the player is, pick one of those up because they are beautiful jerseys in person. But again, very good prices. Those are all the Adidas ones. So they're, some of them vary in years. Some are 21, 22, 20, up through last year. They do also have Winter Classic practice jerseys back out here again too, with the double middle finger V logo that's on there, in multiple colors, yellow, white. Those are $200 each. So if you do want those, that's not a bad price if you want something from the Winter Classic. And then they do have some other of their warm-up ones going for $300 up. But feel free to check those out. They actually do have the Winter Classic style. And let me just confirm that is correct. They say their description is off, but it says this is game issued number 26, Tobias Bjornfort Winter Classic jersey issued. It is the Winter Classic style because there is no Winter Classic patch on it, but those are $400, which if you want that style, again, not a bad price.
I mean, I got to be honest, those prices on that website, their star players are $2,500, $3,000. I mean, that's great prices. I mean, I saw, Mark Stone jerseys, game worn ones for $2,500.
They have an issued Stone Winter Classic style for $750.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to be dumb, but like those are fantastic prices, especially considering where the prices came from.
Right. I was just going to say that exact thing. It needs to be insane.
I think that's a great sign of the hobby in the sense that like the prices always end up balancing out. I think a lot of people, including myself, are interested to see what happens with the Utah jerseys coming out, where the pricing ends up in those. Obviously, we've all seen that they're selling some stuff in-house and what have you. I still haven't seen any jerseys for sale, but I'm interested to see what that does. And then also knowing the fact that they might ask an arm and a leg, but they will balance out at some point.
Yes. And I have not, and again, if anybody else has contacts at Utah that knows who to talk to, I have not been able to dig up a good name or a good person to reach out to talk to them about this or even try and get somebody on the show. So if anybody has that, please reach out and help us out because
Yeah.
you think there would be something out there by now, but maybe with this first year, they're kind of holding things off.
Interesting. I can't wait to see what they look like, what pricing wise. So
Yeah, for sure. That is all the auctions that I dug up. I swear I saw another team selling something and now I lost it. I had it earlier today and now I don't remember where it was at. Paul, you wanted to talk about the Team USA World
Yeah.
Junior.
Yes, the World Juniors auction just ended earlier this week, and the pricing on that was all over the place, I thought. It was the white jerseys, which were worn in 3 games, Germany, another game, which I can't recall right now, and then the New Year's Eve game against Canada. And just looking at some of the pricing, Teddy Stiga, I think that's how you pronounce it, second round pick for Nashville, his one for 4,100, which was a little bit of a surprise for me. Most of the jerseys went for 1,000 or over, or close to 1,000 and over. Couple, pretty high ones. Some which are not surprising, like the Hagens, which was 7,800. He's probably going to be the number one pick this upcoming year, and 7,800 seems about what I expected. Um, let's see, Iserman was 2,600. Oliver Moore, surprisingly, was only 1,300. The Zeev Buehm, I can never say his name right. Kid playing at Denver, Minnesota draft pick. That one for 3,400. Um, and then a lot more in the 1,000 range. I think the least expensive that was worn was 557 for Bernovic. But yeah, everything else was close on the 1,000 range and up. The other good thing about this is it's part of the USA Hockey Foundation, so it is a fundraiser for them too. So it's nice to see some of the high prices go on these. I did not pick up any this year, unfortunately, but some really cool jerseys.
Yeah, I saw a lot of different people comment saying they forgot it was there, missed it, whatever, and some people are happy that their wallet is safe too. So
Yeah,
it
but
goes across the board with all of those auctions. We know how it is. You forget or whatever, and then sometimes like, "Ooh, I'm actually glad I forgot because I still have money now."
they are awfully nice jerseys, and it's gold medal second year in a row, and just some really nice jerseys to add to the collection.
I wonder when some of the other ones will, if they'll come to the same auction or go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think USA is getting them all of them besides what the players keep. And I can't recall if they had 2 or 3 styles this year. And I know the players keep a set. This set was auctioned off, and I just cannot recall if there was a third set. I mean, December was months ago.
Yeah. Usually you want to get them out quick because otherwise people a lot of times will forget about them and you don't get the money you would expect when it's fresh in people's minds.
Yeah, but no, these did pretty well. Like it's for the foundation, so it's a great cause, and very happy to see them do well.
Very good. So now we have again the game is currently on right now.
2-1.
I'm not sure what the 2-1 US.
USA just scored. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Team Canada won in overtime last night since we're recording this on a Thursday, which I think shocked a lot of people that it went to overtime. One hell of a game, and I think all of these games really are going to be good. But the Fanatics pricing is out, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. These prices are for just one of the games, correct?
It is for 1 game wonders, which were worn for 2 periods. I
It's a
believe,
half game jersey.
yeah, I believe for yesterday's game, they were worn in the second and third period. I could take my shot at Fanatics and say they gave them another jersey for OT. That's probably not true. But I'm assuming the jerseys that were auctioned off, yes, for the first game were worn in OT. And my understanding is the USA and Finland game jerseys are also 2 period wonders from today.
And we'll discuss some of these prices. I'll start with Team Canada. The cheapest ones being Anthony Sorelli at, I'm just going to call it 3,000 because they're $2,999.99. It's like, you know what? Don't be an ass. Just make him 3,000 because that looks stupid. Brandon Hagel also at that price. Then you jump into 5,000 with, Sam Bennett's 4. And Sam Reinhardt's weird because that's the oddball at 5,500. And because I guess actually Colton Parayko's at 3,500. So it's kind of, I'm a little surprised at some of the way those prices are set, but of course we'll jump to the top end of these prices. Cale Makar, 12,500. Nathan McKinnon, 15,000. Sidney Crosby, 29,000. Connor McDavid, $50,000 for 2 periods.
Makes the Crosby seem cheap.
Yeah, especially while he played. I've been thinking about this a lot since we kind of got the price list a couple of days ago and have talked about it. And I guess since we just went through the Blues in NHL auctions and the prices for 1 period jerseys, I'm going to say this and it's going to maybe be unpopular, but the prices aren't really that bad. I mean, if you think about the fact, and I'd have to look it up, but what did the Binnington 1 period jersey go for in the Winter Classic? I think it was somewhere around $5,000, right?
Yeah. And the most expensive was of the ones we saw was 8,000 on the blue side. And what was Bedard? Was it 15? I don't
something
remember
like that,
now.
give or take. Yeah. And so I mean, like, if you look at it like that, which, like, again, I said, I know in saying it wasn't going to be a very popular opinion. I know the Binnington, I don't know if it was on your list, but it was $44.99 is what the Binnington was. So, I mean, if you think about that, the prices really aren't that bad, right? All things considered. I mean, I'm sitting here watching the game, and the USA jerseys are phenomenal. The Canada jerseys were great.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I get that they're not wearing for that long, but you are talking about superstar players in a world-class event. I mean, obviously they feel high, but they're not crazy high. I mean, like the Parayko, I think was what, $34.95 you said?
Yep.
Or 99 or whatever. So, I mean, again, it's all relative when it comes down to it. Is it a lot of money for a really short-term worn jersey? Absolutely. Is it unfathomable compared to what other specialty stuff goes for? Not really.
And imagine wanting, and if you bought it before the game is played.
Yeah, for sure.
Jay Theodore, because it was worn in the second and third period, he was hurt 3 minutes into the first and then is now done for the entire tournament.
That's an issue jersey, yeah. I mean, but here, if you got that Sidney Crosby at, I mean, $30,000 is crazy. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm in the ballpark for it, but I would assume if you're a Sidney Crosby collector and you could get that jersey what he did in that second and third period in overtime, I mean,
yeah,
that's
and
probably what a Sidney Crosby jersey normally goes for, and what that is, not a bad buy.
Well, and if the Four Nations thing like this is never played again, and this is a one-off thing, then you'll never see something like this again. Now, comparing the USA prices to Canada, it's not just the exchange rate; it's the players. The most expensive on Team USA is Austin Matthews at 15,000, and then it drops down to 10,000 for Eichel. And then jumps Eichel and Hughes are both at 10, and then you go 7,000, 6,000, 4,000. The cheapest being Noah Hannafin and Jacob Slavin at 3,000. And then Jeremy Swayman's 3,500, and he may only see pucks in warm-ups. Same with Ottinger if Hellebuck stays on top of his head like he normally does.
Yeah.
Then jumping over to Team Finland, the most expensive is Rantanen at 7,500.
Yeah.
A lot of the rest of those are in the $3,000 range, which if you're a Finnish collector, those aren't insane prices compared to the others. And then Team Sweden, the most expensive being Nylander at 6, and it had been at 6 as well, and everybody else is 2,500 to 4,000. It's interesting to see where the players are valued at and how the teams overall stack up. At some point, maybe I'll do this before next week, is I'll add up all of them and see what the totals are, just to compare the team totals. But I think that's kind of interesting to look at that.
Each team plays 3 games, right?
Yeah, guaranteed 3, and then I think the championship will be the 4th.
So you think so? Well, yeah. So you're in, like, if you think of the 3 games, if there weren't 2 jerseys, that's 6 jerseys. So the question is there's going to be 5 other sets from the tournament format of it. I'm assuming players probably keep 1. Who knows? Now, does a set of these show up on NHL auctions, or does Fanatics end up having more sets of these? That's going to be where it gets interesting, because obviously, first ones always sell for more. I harpen back to the days of the last international thing they did, the North America whatever jerseys,
World Cup of Hockey.
World Cup. I couldn't even get it out. Sorry. The World Cup of Hockey jerseys. I mean, I know that you've seen some of those. Now they rarely pop up, but they're still pretty, like, depending on the player, you could probably get into one of those pretty reasonable these days. So, second-handedly, or how many sets end up out there will be interesting.
Yeah. And you wouldn't think that Fanatics would necessarily shoot themselves in the foot right away, because they're selling these. You call up a Fanatics rep, buy them. Fanatics runs NHL auctions, so you'd think either until they get those other ones sold that they list those, or who knows what. Who knows? Maybe they only get this one set. I wish more of this stuff could be disclosed, or if we had insiders that can feed us. Yes, there's 6 jerseys or 8 jerseys or whatever it is, and here's the breakdown of how it goes. I mean, we still don't even know the complete breakdown of the Winter Classic.
No.
If they wore 3 or 4 or 5.
And where they ended up.
Yep. So it's one of those pieces, again, if you are an insider with a team or an insider somewhere that can glean this knowledge for us, we promise it will not, your identity will be safe. It will not be disclosed. We will sanitize all this stuff, but we would like to get it out to help the hobby and build that knowledge base on different things like that. But this is a fun tournament to watch. I mean, they sold out the game last night. I think tonight's game was a sellout as well, or close.
Yeah.
And the games aren't blowouts or anything. They've been really good to watch. So enjoy them this weekend. Paul, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here?
Well, I'll touch on the Four Nations jerseys quickly. You know what? I know Lassalati's pricing. I didn't know what to expect, because it's not like the Olympics or a tournament that everyone's really looking forward to. And I guess it's good. I didn't realize this, but the NHL players are going to Italy next year for the Olympics, which is, a really good thing. I personally right now, I kind of hate the 2-week break in the schedule. Our last Sharks home game was February 8th. Our next home game is March 8th. So,
Wow.
I mean, that's a long gap. And it's not like we have a tennis tournament here, which used to push a big break in the schedule. But having said all that, it's not they're not really, well, first off, they're Fanatics jerseys, so I'm not interested. But the fact, if they were Olympic jerseys and, made by Adidas or something, I'd definitely be interested, and I could see these prices easily. Now, the good thing, which has happened so far, we have not seen the shenanigans that happened during the World Cup of Hockey. I've seen on one of the price lists at the bottom it said no discounts. And during the World Cup of Hockey, this is where my hate relationship with Fanatics started, that you would talk to different reps and you would get different pricing. This was as the games were going on and then later. And it was very unclear when the jerseys were worn. It wasn't until you even got them that you found that out. And the pricing was just all over the place. Big changes from game 1 to game 2. And then the reps offering different prices, and some people really, pretty pissed off on how they handled it, and some people thought they got screwed by Fanatics on that sale. This seems to be handled so far a whole lot better. You can like or dislike the pricing, but they're sticking to it so far. We haven't had the mess that the World Cup of Hockey had. And in all fairness, that was Fanatics' first entry into. That's when they took over NHL auctions. So I don't know, was it Migray who ran NHL auctions before it, or was it someone else?
I think the NHL did themselves.
Yeah. And then it went to Fanatics, and that was the first major event that they had. And a lot of the auction prices were considerably less than the price lists that we got to see. And sometimes, more than what they were selling to if you got the right sales rep for that.
Yeah.
So I just hope we don't see. I think Fanatics has learned over has that been 10 years now almost?
Yeah.
Well, I think they learned quick when somebody would call, get the price list or whatever, and then somebody else said, well, I talked to my rep and it's this price. And then both of those people picked up the phone and called back to Fanatics and said, what the hell are you doing? And I think they saw the backlash on the game worn sites and stuff like that, and they realized, oh crap, they all talk. Which you should just assume that because it's a hobby where everybody's involved and you probably do talk. It doesn't take long to start causing problems and saying, if you guys get a jack with prices, none of us are buying this stuff.
I think that was
everybody tries to get the lowest price.
Yeah, that was the old school Steiner sports mentality that I think whenever Fanatics kind of brought in because they brought in a lot of people from there. And I think there was that kind of, offer high, sell low, do what you got to do to maintain it thing. And I think what happened is, I think as technology has changed, they've been forced to be more streamlined with the way they price. And they've also taken that ability of the reps to bump and discount away, which is a good thing. Because even that short time that the Blues were with Fanatics, it was terribly challenging to get a firm price on something or to even get a firm idea what it was. So, I know Paul's never going to be a fan, but I do think they've grown a lot and gotten better with that for whatever it's worth.
I will agree with you. I think they have gotten, they've grown a lot. They have gotten better. I still have my issues, but I said something nice about them, so it's probably.
We're gonna see a Fanatics jersey at that house before too long.
May just not have a choice if you really need to have somebody bad.
Yeah. There's enough older jerseys I still want. So believe me, I can. Yeah, I can keep busy for a number of years without having to deal with Fanatics. So
I do have to say the Four Nations jerseys are pretty fantastic. As I sit here and watch the third period get ready to get started in the USA game, because the best part is all four of the kits are very different. So that's awesome. Like as far as the numbering and the lettering and what have you, they really did hit a home run on them styling wise. I know we talked about it before it started, but I really do like them. So I can throw that out there on my end.
I will agree they are sharp looking jerseys, especially the USA ones looked really good on the ice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. The number and lettering on those is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, and they're consistent between the numbers and the letters. It's really well thought out and nice. I could do without the Discover patch, but
unfortunately, nature of the game these days. Unfortunately.
All right,
but at least it's not huge, so it's
no.
And on the shoulders, it's less noticeable.
It's not like a European jersey where it'd be going all the way from like tip to tip, giant.
Right.
So it's done with a little bit of class at least.
Flashing lights around it, things like that.
Completely agree. Yes.
Final thoughts from you, Wade?
Another fun show. Thanks for helping take my mind off of it. And thanks to the hobby again for the friendship and help. Means a lot. And looking forward to getting out of this break and seeing what happens as everybody's going into set twos and moving forward with just another season of hockey, second half. See what happens.
We're blowing through it quick. It's insane. Talking playoffs already, and teams already out or on the bubble and all this stuff. So, yeah, it's insane how fast this is moving. And like we've said in a couple past shows, if you've gotten your set ones from whatever your team is, let us know. Send some pictures of the wear, things like that. Give us your opinions on what you think now that a lot of those will be landing in people's hands. If not, I know they're soon. So I'll try and keep an eye out if I notice some teams. Either I don't know if My Gray's got any of theirs sent out yet for set ones. If not, they should be coming soon. But yeah, we want to hear the wear reports from people and let us know what you think. Please like, subscribe, follow across wherever you get your podcast, YouTube or otherwise. I can continue to see that go up and new people follow and like every week. We appreciate the support. Like I mentioned last week, we do have some Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey Podcast stickers. I'm trying to sort the best way out to get some of those out to people. We will definitely have them at the April Expo in St. Louis, the Frozen 4 Expo. So make sure you plan on coming to that or going to any of the other expos that we touched on coming up in March, because there are several. With that, we will see you guys all back next week.